hello everyone, and thank you for staying so late. I guess I will be the last demo today. I'm not going to make a full demo that's going to last 10 minutes. I'm more going to speak about a few different use cases of things we have been doing in the last 6 months. I think most of you know us more for that, the plugin we release. And we haven't released any number yet, so I wanted to take the opportunity to show people the webpage where they can get it. A lot of people ask us. To remember that if you want to test it, you can, for example, join the Bistri platform that is integrated our plugin to have a test on Internet Explorer and to see the difference. And to remind that we're supporting almost all versions of Windows and OS X for both Safari and Internet Explorer. I could go through the list of all the things we support, but it's basically the spec. So whatever you have working on Chrome today would be working directly in Internet Explorer if you had our plugin installed. Now, I've heard a few numbers this week that were very interesting. I heard Dialogic speaking about 90 projects they had ongoing or in the past. Then I heard Quobis citing 100 projects just a few days after. So I'm not going out and say we have 110 and 120 and try to escalate the number to be the first. I'm just going to say it's a little bit difficult to give a number depending on what you define a project, an integration project is. We have more than 5,000 downloads on the plugin the first week alone. I could consider that a project, but I don't think it would be fair. I think there are a few easy low-hanging fruits that you can do. So integration as a widget for a one-to-one call or a click-to-call, like we did for WordPress here. We have a one-to-one, click-to-call, call it the way you want, plugin for WordPress to make it easy for people that don't really want to code to integrate real-time communication capacity. And still the prompt UI hell that we have to go through. Here you go, right? So that's already available. So here again, everybody using that WordPress plugin could be considered as a proof of concept project, but I prefer not to think of that. You can do that for every middleware platform out there. So this is the example for Drupal. And we already did an integration, a generic plugin for Drupal. Even here, plugin doesn't have the same meaning as before. It's a little bit different in the sense that you can give whatever room name you want, but eventually it's the same feature. So everybody that has a WordPress website today, or Drupal, or Joomla for that matter, could enjoy this feature. Security prompt, very important, and so on and so forth, right? So those are very easy integration cases where you just put a one-to-one widget and so on inside. And they're quite easy to do, and I guess everybody almost can do that today. What is becoming a little bit more difficult is when you want to really embed WebRTC features within an application, whatever it is. And I think that's where really the added value is. The more integrated it is, the more value you add to your customer. So this is an example of a call center application that was presented this week at Communicasia in Singapore by another company, where we have a little tighter integration. You can not only start a call to the operator the same way the other widget do, right, and click call, but you can have an information about all the connectivity, the bandwidth, the quality of the signal, both on the client side and on the agent side. And so the agent side also has a queue and everything. I don't have access to their infrastructure because that runs in part in the queuing infrastructure of the call center, so I cannot make a live demo. But I wanted to show you on the user interface the difference you have in integration between that and a simple one-to-one widget. And I think this is really where the added value is. Now, if you want to push that to the maximum, right, one of the most complete integration we did was with the Ibm Connection product, where not only we integrated into the front end, we also integrated in the back end. Most of Those advanced products have their own authentication server, they have their own community, they have their own agenda, they have a lot of services that they want to keep and that would like to integrate seamlessly, both on the back end and on the front end. So this is exactly what we did here. When if you go into my page, part of the IBM Connection, or if you go into a specific community, depending if you want to handle the conference or the community want to handle the conference, you're going to have the usual activity widget, which is linked to your inbox, the signaling up there, and so on. And now you have a new, what they call an I widget for connection, where you can create a new meeting. You can put a start date, a duration. So let's next week, whatever the time. Doesn't want that. Up. And for 1 hour. It doesn't want 12. What about 11 then? Here we go. And now the meeting is going to be in the calendar. And I can go, for example, to a previous meeting I did before. I click on it where someone invited me, and so it appears in my calendar. And IBM requested, for example, in that specific case, that the discussion happen in a separate window. And the reason behind that was that, that meeting is done already. And the reason behind that is that they want to be able to go on surfing on their IBM Connection page while they're doing the meeting on the other page. Here we go. So of course, there is nobody in the room. The transfer of document was not implemented, but you can disable the mic, you can mute the webcam, there is a chat, there is everything. So, and there is protection for people who will try to leave the page and not realizing that they're actually leaving the conference. You never know. So depending on those three cases of integration of WebRTC into an application, but you can tell now that there is a big difference between just putting a widget, making an integration with the UI, and then making an integration also with the backend where the login and everything is controlled by the original application and not by the Skyway platform we provide. Now, that's example of variation of things you have seen today. I'm going to try now to show you something you haven't seen so far. A lot of people will give you means today to do a proof of concept within hours or within days, if only through a widget. Now, how do you know that this is robust, scalable, and can handle the load if you're successful? So we announced a little bit earlier in the week what we call Puppet Master, which is a way to launch WebRTC compliant robots on the web to go test a specific website to see if they can handle the load. So I don't want to show you the beautiful UI because then it would look easy. I'm going to show you how the engine behind is actually working. You can choose whatever, it's based on Amazon, right? We're launching as many instances as we want, each of them running a certain number of fake users that are going to have a specific behavior. And all of that is parameterable. You can also choose which firewall rule you're going to use, so you can have some user that would be behind a very constrained enterprise-like network, so you can also at the same time test connectivity through different kind of network that otherwise will be difficult for you to reach. The beauty of all that, it's automated. So you enter a few parameters, it connects to your Amazon account for you, it launches the instances for you when the instances are running. They're running a specific snapshot image that we made. It connects to it through SSH, through a secure connection, launch the robots, and you just have to wait. So now it's waiting for all the free instances to run. Should be a few more seconds. And then what I'm going to do, and I already joined one of the room, right, that the robots are going to test. And so I'm going to stay here and see if I see on the left-hand side the robots actually coming in and pasting just a message on the chat, because that was the simplest thing to illustrate today. All the robots can do everything a user can do. Video stream, audio stream, right? So they're automatically generated. It's fake audio stream and video stream. You can test the resolution, you can test the load, you can test the bandwidth. So you really have a hammer to hit on your application. We already hit our infrastructure, so you can be sure that that part is solid, but we're going to make it so flexible that you can actually test your application with that and see, for example, at the application level, you don't have any synchronous versus asynchronous problem or race condition or load bottleneck. So here they are. We have the robots coming in. They in the room, they connected. They don't have audio and video and data. That's why the circle next to the name are red on the right. And each of them is just printing a message on a chat log. In this scenario, this is what I asked them to do. So you can actually script whatever scenario you want. You can phase the robots and so on and so forth. Right? So this is an example of the tools we're going to release as Puppet Master for people to test their application, bringing them from the proof of concept to beta product stage much faster than before. All right, well, thanks everyone.